Hello, welcome everyone. This is already our second conversation on the topic of alchemizing the four feelings with the four elements. Last week we talked about anger and fear, weaving with with fire and air. And this week we will be talking about sadness, weaving with water, and earth weaving with joy. And we are again with Isabel here. Welcome.
Hello.
Perfect. So let's dive right into, right? Today we
Yes.
have two very different qualities compared to last week.
Mhm.
Maybe we start by inviting them in the space, starting with the water element. What do you say?
Yes. So, water, inviting water, I can feel how my blood is running through my veins.
Yes.
And I mean, all the feelings have a healing quality. I was sensing into it this morning, Luna, and looking outside and on my path of becoming a healer, I noticed like actually, there is so many things around me that are healing. I have this healing energy. Like I just look outside in nature and looking outside, it heals me. And when I look outside, but also if when I look inside of me and there is a wound inside of me. And with what I mean with wound, okay, we humans, we have these wounds from our childhood that gets activated when something in the outside or is happening or even in the inside. I can wound myself and tell myself a lot of stories that I am not good enough or whatever. And I discovered that the sadness is really this feeling that flows like water through my wound, and it's like balsam, it's like honey in my body, and connects me again to what is actually, and brings me back to what is, and reconnects me with my body, with compassion,
Yeah.
with understanding, with a deeper understanding of myself. And this is really this quality of balsaming my soul.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that so beautifully. Yeah, I agree. Sadness and water is this quality that allows us to be with what is. It's also the feeling that helps us to say goodbye, to grieve when something ends, and to make us feel connected to the things we care for, but in a different way than anger. If you remember, anger last week was more about going for something, claiming what we need, while sadness is more like realizing this hurts, this is something that I would want to be different, and maybe accepting that I cannot change that thing. So it's going and fighting for it, but it's more about accepting a loss, accepting something we
Mhm.
cannot change. And probably it's also one of the easiest emotions to and feelings to access in our society. It's one that is more socially accepted. So it's more socially accepted to be sad than to be angry from my experience. So most people might feel more easily connected to sadness indeed. Yeah. I think I lost you now, so I will just go on speaking about the water element. So sadness actually can be located in the body in all our liquids. So it's the blood, as Isabel just said, but it's also in our tears, very simply said. So the tears, the rivers of life, and all other fluids that we have. And when we go out in nature, the water element really helps us to connect to this sadness also. So you might have experienced in your own life that when you go out to a big body of water, it makes it actually easier to connect with the sadness. For example, I grew up by the seaside in Italy, and since I was very young and a teenager, I used to go to the rocks by the sea to just cry when I needed to. And I felt very held by the ocean in doing that. So there's this very ancestral connection with the water element and sadness. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're back now.
I'm back now, yeah. So yeah, and I mean, looking at anger again, uh, what I notice in myself is that I judge myself and then I use the anger against myself, or I judge someone else and say, okay, I'm right, the other person is wrong, or the other person is right and I am wrong. And I judge the situation. And when I use a bit more sadness and bring a bit more softness in that judgment, I leave this stiffness because the judgment creates pressure in me, like, this has to be like that, and it brings the softness inside of me. And with this softness, I'm actually able to choose what I want. So it's also, the anger that goes, and this is my path, and this is what I want, and but the sadness is collaborating also. So it's like on earth, all the four feelings. This is just an example how two feelings are collaborating. All the feelings are collaborating at the same time. For example, the joy, we are also talking today about joy. The joy is really what lights me up. My cells, they they jump when I feel joy. And the earth, um, spaciousness on earth, the carrying of us is full of this material is full of cells around me. So the cells are filled up with light, are filled up with energy. And I can start, if I practice and see how the laws of nature work, I can be part of this. I can be part of this web and co-create actually with the earth when I get, okay, this is my vision, this is what I'm here for. And how do I get what I'm here for? With which what brings me joy. My vision is nothing else than doing what brings me joy, what lights me up, what makes me bright, what lets me shine.
Yes. And I feel that joy and sadness also have some similar qualities in a way because they both connect us with the vastness and the space of life in different ways, but it's kind of a quality in common because with sadness, at least for me, it's this feeling of going very deep into a deep sea. It's a very good metaphor to say that, to go into deep sea and to realize how small I am into this infinite web of connections. And it's a lot about connection because with sadness we can really relate with people. It's in our wounds, in our pain, and in showing our sadness, in crying together, that there's the deepest connection. So there's this sense of vast connection. And with joy, there's also this connection with the earth and with everything there is. And for me, it's more like a connection to life itself when I connect to joy, to the joy of living, the joy that is there just because we are alive. And
Mhm.
in the beginning, it was a bit difficult for me to tune to the earth as the keeper of joy, because for me, earth carries it all. In the earth, you have the pain, the sadness, the anger, you have it all. But then we realized together, we had this realization there's a subtle frequency of joy always running in the earth that you can tune to. And it's the joy of just being here, of being children of the earth. And that's always there. It's like one subtle note that you can tune to that cannot be overwritten by other frequencies and other feelings. So that was a beautiful finding. And
Mhm.
yeah, joy, in my perspective, is one of the most challenging feelings to connect to for most people. It's always the last. We always work with anger, fear, sadness, and then comes the joy. And sometimes we don't even know how to feel the joy. So we were speaking before that it's located in the cells, so it doesn't have a specific tissue. It's everywhere in us. It's in our center. Do you want to share more? Okay, so unfortunately, Isabel is having a blackout at her space right now. So she's no longer able to connect. Nevertheless, I think we had a very valuable conversation so far. And I will leave that question open for you to reflect on: where do you feel joy in your bodies? How do you connect with joy in your life? And feel free to leave it in the comments, because one of the main qualities of this space we're bringing is that it's an exploration and that there are no fixed truths out there or teachings. It's more like a co-creative process we're doing together here, exploring where we feel the feelings, how we relate to them, and how we connect them with the elements. So I think that makes it even more intriguing to leave that question open. And before I close this, I want to remind you that next week, next Tuesday, on October the 7th, we have our first event that you can join on Zoom. It will be a work talk lasting 2 hours, where we will give an introduction to this topic. So you will be able to dive into all four feelings and all four elements and have your own experience of it in a guided and facilitated space. And then 2 weeks from there, we will start the 6 weeks workshop series. This will be an experiential experience happening again on Tuesday evenings for 6 weeks in a row. And enrollment for that is also already open. You will find all information on both our pages and in the caption of this reel, of course. So thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions or any insights, I would be very happy to read you in the comments. And I wish you a beautiful rest of the day from my side and also from Isabel. Lots of love.